keep getting these mandates from the Arizona Board of Regents, and either they're totally implicit and they never make it across the admin prop barrier, or they never talk about research, and I'm just a little suspicious about that.
Actually, they do, but it's kind of interesting. It's very compartmentalized. Over here, if you take federal and state governments, they talk about student success and more baccalaureates. And yet, in all sorts of other conversations, there is lots of conversation about what universities do in terms of research and spawning economic development. That's essentially the conversation that occurs over here. It's often different people in the room, but there are two very active conversations.
I think one of the things that has been really interesting to see is that in the last 5 years, the board has become increasingly disengaged in discussions about academics. I would say that the least amount of interest among the board members is in academia, which it seems to me like is what we're all here for. So what they've done is they've relegated all discussions about academic programs or whatever to this little committee called the Academic Affairs Committee. And so it goes to those few regions, although we tend to see like more and more regions attending, but like only 5 regions vote. And then the Academic Affairs Committee does a report to the board in which they say, oh, NAU turned in its academic strategic plan, and all in favor, aye. And so they accept a report. The provosts don't ever go to the table anymore to talk about programs or changes or new kinds of programs. All they want to know is numbers, accountability, number of graduates. They don't want to be bothered with any of this.
It's all about the metrics.
It's all about the metrics.
That's everywhere.
Broad question about the grain and aging of the professoriate, not only in the College of Hotel, Restaurant Management, and Business at NAU, but nationwide. Are we not aging? Not 60% of us are so going to be retiring in the next couple of years? And how does that fit in with all the dynamics you just said? Fit in with all the dynamics you just presented?
I think all of the deans that come in and talk with me say, we're really worried about this. We're going to have 5 retirements, in the next 3 years, and we have to be ready and poised to get out there and compete for the best talent possible. And we recognize that. And this is a huge national turnover. All the baby boomers are getting out, and so we're going to have to really be proactive and maybe start searches before some of these retirements happen so that we're not cleaned out. A lot of disciplines are very worried about this.
And remember, what we're going through, the private institutions, in many cases, are not, because their tuitions are set. They have a culture in private institutions often quite different than public institutions. So in a private institution, it would be unlikely to kind of see the grading patterns and students not graduating at very high rates. And so what they're doing, they're rating the faculties in public institutions. And so that's another work.
Off topic, but our 3rd dean candidate is in today. What's the time frame for taking one of Mason's hats away?
Okay, I'm really glad you asked that.
You don't want that.
No, I don't.
I'm assuming that the chair of the committee has sent out the evaluation form and an urgent message telling everybody to get their feedback in. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Great. Okay. I would like to close all input by Friday. And so by the time your dean candidate is finished today and tomorrow, and who knows, she may be here another day, she can't get down the hill. You have got to get input on all 3 candidates in by Friday. Then we will look at all of them, we summarize, we tabulate by category. Here's what faculty say, here's what staff say, here's what other administrators say. We have all that input, and by Monday, I'd like to go through, we keep a binder, we divide it by candidate and by each category of respondents. Take a look at it on Monday, and then I'll go into the president, and I'll make a recommendation to him, and we would presumably move forward with an offer. So lickety split. I'd like to get this done before the semester is over and nail down a decision.
I'm wondering if we're looking at the number of credit hours being taught also in conjunction with the class sizes that those faculty are teaching, because many of our sophomore level classes in this college will run at least 50 students. And when you hear about faculty in other areas teaching classes of 15 students. There's a big difference, not in the delivery time, but in the outside of class, servicing those students, answering their questions, grading their work, doing projects, and so on.
Yeah, all of that has to be thrown into the equation. One of the interesting things about the Math Emporium is we probably, in freshman level math, will offer 100 and some sections of math each and every semester. Ultimately, when the Math Emporium is fully played out, let's say most of the freshman level courses are there, you probably can reduce the number of sections taught probably by 50% or more, because it is the students are self-pacing themselves using the web, and a faculty member plays an entirely different role in terms of helping the student through difficult pieces. And so, if you think about that in other large enrollment courses, it could solve this problem. We've only seen one delivery system. A faculty member enters a classroom and teaches 50 students, but you could deliver those courses in different ways.
One of the things I think we do need to remember, and that I keep in mind all the time, is that we deliver an education that is, we say the difference that matters. And the other day we had a program review for, let's see, which was it? We have like 3 a week. A review team was talking to students about their experience, and they were absolutely raving about the experience that they had at NAU. They liked the personalized attention. They liked the one-on-one relationships. We know that students who are engaged with their professors do better, and they stay, and they tend to go on and matriculate. We never want to lose that. The time that you spend with students is going to make all the difference. And if we can find ways through technology to make it easier to deliver, and you can spend your time more with students rather than creating content, that may be a savings. And here's the answer on math. For this next year, math, the courses will be in 102X, 108, 114, 119, 125, and Stats 270. And last time Karen had told me that there were 3, but apparently she's making progress.
Do you ever talk anything about the service part of this? And couldn't that be if we put some kind of programs to help with advising that would help support retention and graduation? Are there other activities or programs that are focusing on the service component of our research and teaching and service?
We have looked at all the stats on service. In terms of the use of faculty, it's an important part that if you look at it, and I've always said this, I would like to have ban all committees for maybe 6 weeks, and then we'll reestablish those that we actually need. Because that's a large part of what faculty do in service to the curriculum, service to the department or coordinator. So that does have to take a look at it. And eventually, individual faculty have to decide. In a sense, we don't want to give release from teaching, but maybe there's some release from service commitments. By and large, we have not looked at it that way. It's always been release from teaching.
Combining students is a way to create retention and what NAU is known for, the smaller classes and effective with students.
Well, that personal advising is really important, and perhaps if we can go to more professional advisors, that are in the different schools and colleges, then maybe faculty would spend less time doing that. So that's one model that we can look at. We have cut back staff over the last 5 years, and so there, as has been pointed out to us in other sessions, there are many faculty who've taken on administrative roles because there aren't, staff. One of the savings that we thought we were realizing by consolidating, let's say, small departments and saving time is putting 3 departments in one department instead of 3 little ones. And now, instead of having 1 chair, we now have 1 chair and 3 coordinators. So all of them have release time. And so you guys are like, oh no, that's not what we meant. So it is really, really a struggle. By having some permanent faculty positions that are tenure track or even lecturers, and not having to do all of these searches. All of our units are inundated with searches. There's so many searches going on, and there's not enough tenure track faculty to serve, tenured faculty serve on search committees. And so it's really becoming